Motion to approve agenda as follows. Can I get a motion to approve? Approved by Ed. Can I get a second?
Second.
Favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. Motion carries. Secretary's report. That I sent out last night. Motion to approve.
A motion approved.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Treasurer's report. Dave.
Okay. Yeah. I think last meeting, our total number was about 117,000. Now about 147,000. And we have a payment that I see, or I can tell is coming to the bank within the next day or two. We're taking from 147 to $197,000. So we're in a place where we've never been before. No treasurer's ever been able to report $200,000 in the bank. That's pretty amazing.
Significant.
Question.
Yes.
That's amazing. How much of that is going to show?
Most of it.
Yeah. So the shaded parts of the thing show of the sheet show what the spoken for dollars are.
Right.
And of that 140,815 is 315 is pledged to one project or another. 135 of it to Toll and Square. So, but two things have happened since our last meeting, which are huge for the organization. One of them was the boo ball, and if you look on the back of the sheet, at the top of the third column, the boo ball brought in $2,154.44 after expenses, and that's cool because the second money down at the bottom of the second column, I came up with a slightly different number than yours, but real close to it. $4,301 from poker, and that's that we have in the bank too. Okay. Yeah, I paid for them.
Oh, you did? Oh,
And they're accounted for you.
Oh, I know.
The checks haven't been cashed, but so
Can you make it a copy of the address? There's a bank open. Just for with the financial report for the no big deal.
So those two batches of money take us from essentially zero that we had in the bank that wasn't earmarked to about 7,300 that is in the bank and not earmarked, which is terrific.
Question about that. How much of that is the accumulation of charity vote?
About 2/3 of that is charity poker, and a third of it is the blue ball.
Amazing.
Yeah. So there's a catch to the charity poker though, and that is that we can only, that money is in a different account than all the other money, and money from that charity poker account can only be written for charitable purposes, and or for operating gaming.
Yeah.
So that money is sort of trapped in there until we have expenses that are charitable that we can pay. And not anything from the Toll and Square project we can pay with that money.
But you can't do fundraising.
So what we can do is pay that with poker money, and then then that releases the money for spending on, if for instance, we get a report back from our insurer that says we have to pay more insurance because we're doing more. But we can't pay the insurance from the account. So, so the boom ball is going to help us for the next month or two. As we look for expenses. But that's where we stand. That's a better place to be than in very long time. I think there's one scheduled December 3rd.
Fourth,
And
Friday the 4th, here.
And then
I hope so. That's what I have on the flyer over there, right?
it's the 3rd.
Air Force
It's the 3rd.
Okay.
It's the Friday.
Sorry, man. True story.
Motion to approve the treasurer's report as second by Swag. All in favor?
Aye.
This brings us to old business. All in favor, anything?
Not really.
Poker report, we kind of just highlighted. So,
Yeah, the one thing that we mentioned, that the dealers mentioned, was that they do like our charity. They listen to some of the charities, they get, don't listen to what the dealers are saying.
Yes.
So they do like us for one. And just so you know, with the $4,300 and the number of hours volunteers work, at about $45 an hour per year. That everybody raises, so that's huge money. Yeah, we want to respect that. Yeah, that's respectable numbers. So well done, thank you.
yeah, thank you to everybody who volunteered, who stayed up, who stayed late. Committed overtime for sure, overtime and overtime. So thank you, everybody. Proper drinks and cool. Roast report, all
Yeah, so we met after our meeting last time. Got the flyer designed up, whipped up. Anybody wants a flyer? We need one for here. Anybody else can grab it after that. I have pull up the list of roasters. It's on the 3rd.
It's on the 3rd.
Yeah, I was wrong. Okay.
That hurts, doesn't it?
It does. It's not fun.
I was wrong.
I was wrong for this. So we have Mr. Dave Snyder roasting, Jess Meingessner. Jill's gonna make a slideshow of embarrassing photos. Chris Caleri. Jill's doing that. Joe Bloom's gonna be up there. Michael Armitage is gonna be there. Guy Conti, which is a friend of his, and Tim Clark. And I think I'm gonna guilt Ashley Sinclair into doing it as well, which should be awesome. So we have a list of all sorts of things. It looks like I'm able to pick up the throne for
the chair, all thrown.
the chair of Austin. I'm gonna pick it up on Saturday. Looks like I got it for a decent price, so I bought it. Yeah. Well, I haven't bought it yet. I'll buy it on Saturday.
This chair is pretty ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. Just show up for the chair.
It's gonna be pretty easy.
Just show up. Only for that. Tickets are on sale. I'm
Yep.
super pumped about the chair because I got a sneak preview.
Anybody who wants to sit in.
Yes.
Now,
Before and after.
there has been discussions about streaming the events, so we could sell tickets online for that as well. If we want to do that, in no way am I just open that up for free. So if we want to do that, I'll approach Dominic just to see if he's okay with it. But I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, do we have streaming capabilities and do we have a projector for? We're set up, take that. I'll be handling speakers and stuff. So if anybody can volunteer that.
Do we have to worry worry about FCC oversight for gets this thing if we're streaming it.
Oh, so should be fine, just fine.
I can't start.
7 p.m. I believe. It's 6:30. That's it.
Oh, get doors open at 7:30.
We did meet with. Thank you. I need
Yeah, we
to-
did meet with the Legion.
met with Legion and so we got all the details hashed out. It looks like they're going to work on a drink for us as well, that they can raise money for the seawall.
Yep.
So that's something we're working on as well. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
Cool, awesome report. Parade, they want the trailer. I talked to Uncle Lily's band because they're doing the stage building on Saturday. They want to know for
I
their.
thought they already built it.
Yeah, well, they built it. They were installing it on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw. So I'm not sure between you guys can do it have for trailer, Chris or Pat wants to. It's up to you guys.
I think Pat already said he was going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I'll give the key whoever I need to. Welcome to it. Yeah. So they just want to move early, so they similar setup to the Halloween day with that. Like where it's like. Oh, yeah. If that's all right, if Tad wants a break.
If you want to.
Yeah.
Just text me and tell him.
Okay. Cool. And I'll give you the key to the. Okay. Sweet. That's it. Okay. Sweet. Then going on to new business, poker sign up for December, please sign up.
Yeah, I signed up. Brother signed up.
Yes.
Goals.
We're almost there. Saturday. Yeah.
And some of the middle slots.
And some of the middle slots. Yeah. And
The middle slot's important because that's during the busy times and it just comes out.
yeah, we're good. And then segue into that, I want to do a volunteer dinner. Paul, when we started this in 2019, I wanted to do this again. I want to share this one up, say thank you to all you guys for volunteering, committing your hard work to this group. So we'll figure out some expenditures and I'll probably not to exceed like $500. So if that's maybe what you guys in November, I'll try to get an early date in February or January. Depending, you guys are all right with that? I know winter.
When do you expect to be volunteer?
I want to say mid-February. So it's down the pike. If anybody wants to go through that with me, I would love to know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for it.
Oh, I made it. You guys are okay with that? Say something. We'll do it good. Looking ahead, December poker dates again, Service Day and Compassion on January 8th. Rest of the mayor coming on. I guess we can bust the round table. I'll popcorn it over to Pat. Or sorry, Zach, my bad. Stacy,
I'm good.
Michelle,
I'm good.
Bolton.
We're going to have a sit-down discussion after this for the roast of Hamden. So if anybody else wants to have a chat about it, feel free to stop in. Also, just came up with this today, but there's a flag football game happening on the morning of Thanksgiving. If anybody's interested in joining us, spectator or not, you're more than welcome to come on out and hang out.
Conference weekends.
No, we're not. No, absolutely not.
I don't think so.
We're at
8 a.m.
Yep.
8 a.m.
Here. We're at.
That's another reason not to.
8 a.m. on
Eight
8 a.m. on the start. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Far night of the year. Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay. Empty goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bulls was last night.
Depends on your round.
It came off very well. And thanks to the people who attended, the sponsors who helped with that program, and there were quite a number of sponsors who.
Well, thank you.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, um, we've had a round of COVID in our house. So I've been cleared twice. But there's been 3 or 4 weeks of self-isolation going. It is what it is.
Like recovered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Together that there's stuff happening, with the GMACF, and I'm wondering what of that stuff, you can share with the group.
Sure.
And how if you see any ways in which it can impact organizations like us.
I'd be happy to talk about it. What has happened in the last 6 months? There were some. There was a movement to make GMACF more independent from the Monroe Community Foundation. And that movement is basically not only ill-advised, but it was also illegal. And so the consequence of that was that the Monroe Community Foundation basically said, you guys need to cut the shit out. You guys need to remember who you are. You're a subordinate to the Monroe Community Foundation, whether you like it or not. And the reason that happened is because I'm just being real. Monroe, the GMACF was founded 15 years ago. And for 15 years, we've been basically left on our own. And we started thinking over the years that we can do our own thing. Right? And yeah, we went over the reservation boundaries, not knowing that, right? And we got called back. And there was a lot of, oh shit, we were screwed. But the reality is that the things we were called on by the Monroe Community Foundation were pretty conventional. Right? You know, it was the case of no communication for 15 years between Monroe Community Foundation and GMACF. So we had no idea what we could or could not do for 15 years. So we just did our own thing. And we started
I'm very
becoming-
successful.
Yes, and we started becoming more and more independent, not knowing that we were out of bounds.
So do you see any ways in which this is likely to impact Milan or the other organizations with the
No. At the end of the day, we have an obligation to make about 5% in grants. I mean, that's pretty much the minimum, right? And what has happened,
that's an annual number.
yes, and what has happened as a result of 2 or 3 large contributions, GMACF went from $3 million in assets to $5.5 million in assets. Now, looking at the 5%, right? So we're talking about going from $100,000 to $125,000 in grants to $200,000 to $250,000. We have made grants at that level, but we need to. Right? So in the middle of all of that is this, growth spurt, right? So next year, we're probably going to be making between $200,000 and $250,000 grants instead of $90,000 or $95,000.
You want to just write a check to move them on the forward, or what? Like, how does that work?
Sorry?
Just write a check to move them on the forward, and we'll just take care of it from there.
I wish you were the.
I'm just joking.
By the way, I want to give you guys a heads up, all right? since I'm a member of good standing of the Health Works, right? One of the things I'm gonna be pushing for between now and next year is that we make grants to private businesses.
Oh,
Yeah. And the reason I say that, because it is legal to make a grant to private business, providing the private business uses the grant funding for a social purpose, for community development purpose. So that's what I'm gonna be working, right? I've checked the IRS laws, it's permissible. The reason is, there are not enough nonprofits in the greater Milan area to service at $250,000.
we'll just take the rest. It's fine. Just give as much money as you can. We'll take the rest and make something awesome with it.
We gotta spread the wealth.
It's fine. We'll take what's left.
We will do that.
By the way, let's talk about that. There's a place for moving Milan forward in all of this. There are a lot of ad hoc, informal, nonprofit organizations that are nonprofit organizations. And what I envision moving Milan forward is being a coach and a mentor, and maybe a fiscal intermediary to those organizations, clubs, associations that are not formally associated. Think an arts group, right? They're looking for a couple $1,000 funding, right? But they're not formally associated. How would moving Milan forward feel about being a coach and a mentor there?
I mean, that's what we do with Milan Cares right now.
Right, and before that, with the Spirit of Milan. And I really think that that's in large part sort of the role that this organization already plays.
Absolutely.
People come here and they have a project that they'd like to do, or
Yeah,
an emphasis they'd like to do. What you originally came here for a year ago, is the sort of thing that, I mean, getting set up as a 501c3 is a big task.
yeah.
But if you do it as a part of this organization, then that makes it
And
much more feasible.
So there's a little bit of oversight.
Right.
To make
So-
sure that we're not going off the rails.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I wanted to just for the record, a couple of other things that I wanted to make sure that I understood and others here understood. Sort of a tradition in the community has been the gala. That's not planned for the immediate future, right?
The reason they're not doing that is because there's a lot of, how can I say this? There's a lot of disappointment and a lot of shock. Right? And so we decided, hey, look, we're just gonna take a break. We don't need the money anymore.
So it's possible that would occur in the future,
Yeah,
but it's not
not. this
It's not
year.
a certain, it's not gonna happen this year, and it's not a sure thing for after that.
No, we don't need the galley. We don't need the funds from the galley. You know, we've gone, here's where we're at as far as assets. You know, you do the math. You know, we're about $5.5 million in assets. And if you use the conventional math of 5%, you know, you got about $275,000 that we would expect to be contributed. You know, when we did the third Thursday, we did $94,000 in grants. We felt really good about that. We're going from 95,000 to 200,000.
It's crazy.
But then,
But yeah,
beyond that, there's also the scholarship program is also part of that.
yeah,
That-
I'm not even
Number.
talking scholarships. Yeah,
Is that funding beyond the
Yeah.
5.5 million?
so it's a wild, weird time. I have the advantage, you know. The advantage I have is because working in a nonprofit arena is my business.
Mhm.
And the thing that was a shock to them, the other members of the,
What the boundaries are.
yeah, was something I'm saying, hey, look, guys, this is business as usual.
And so your board membership was at 17, it's now a lower number,
About 8.
8.
There's, about 8 or 9 people that resigned.
And that much more clearly reports to the
Oh,
Monroe
yeah.
County
Yes,
Community Foundation.
we are now a subsidiary of Monroe Community Foundation. Before, we were just had Greater Milan Area Community Foundation doing our thing, whatever. Now, the reins have been tightened. My prediction is that Monroe is going to lighten up because, they're going to go out to fighting other dragons. So I made the suggestion, let's take a break for 6 months, 8 months. We don't have a gala coming up. Our next thing is scholarships, which is February and March. That's well established, right? That has its own structure. The only question is, should we throw a gala sometime next month? By the time we get finished licking our wounds. So my suggestion is that we throw a big, we should throw a celebration. Okay. And I think we will.
So I just wanted to ask a few questions because
Yeah.
I've heard lots of conversations, but I thought it was helpful for us to know a
Yeah.
little bit more about what's going on.
Here's the deal, at the end of the day, okay, we've gone from $3 million to almost $6 million. Okay,
Well, but I mean, also at the end of the day, we're bad. Like, as if GMACF does well, we tend to do well.
hell
If
yeah.
we do well, you guys do well as well.
Oh, I want to tell you something else. I told you about this, you and I talked. With that kind of money, we can't be making $5,000 grants.
Yeah.
We have to be looking for what are called community transformation grants. Correct? That change the community. Okay, I don't mean I'm talking about $50,000 to $100,000 grants. So you and I have
We've never
talked,
done things like that.
you and I have
Well,
talked about that.
before this project.
The Total Square project is the $20,000 the largest grant that
By a
you?
long shot. Right.
Right.
And I told Dave about this. In terms of thinking community transformation, we could have written a check for the whole damn thing a year from now. 100 grand, boom. That's the kind of stuff that we want to move. Bigger projects, higher impact. Right, with, just so you community buy, with city buy-in. Meaning that the city has to be at the table, not with an MOU. So with a check.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
No, I don't need to talk about that. It is what it is.
How big does a check need to be? $1?
No.
I mean, we'll get to that later, but yeah,
So anyway,
coffers are tight.
I think that was
What
really
we're
helpful.
talking about is real partnerships.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can also, contribute staff hours. We can contribute,
You can do it anytime.
there's a lot of other
Okay.
things and
I'll give you an
property as well.
I'll give you
Yeah.
an example of what's not acceptable. Okay. And when I talked to Josh Waringa, I've been working with Josh Waringa, trying to get a little bit of money.
Yeah.
I said, so Josh, where you at with the city? Well, we have a letter of support. We're not there, Josh. We need more. Okay. So it's not just a look, you see where
Sure. Totally
there
understand.
needs to be active participation on behalf of the city because it benefits the city.
Sure, but I mean, there's things that we can provide like engineers,
Inside.
yeah,
Inside.
absolutely, that we have,
As
we're
long as you
paying.
monetize.
Absolutely.
You see
We're
where-
right there. Absolutely, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I'm really encouraged about that.
Yeah. I mean, anytime we can break down silos and bring people together, organizations together,
It's about breaking down silos.
that's a win for everybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, well,
And the surprising thing, money breaks down silos.
yes. And
You say you cooperate, you get money, you don't cooperate, you don't.
because it's,
People cooperate.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you still gotta be careful about that. Success of project breaks down silos, you know? You just throwing money at a problem doesn't fix anything sometimes. You gotta-
so my hope is
gotta
with
finish
the
it.
new election. Yeah. My hope is with the new election, there'll be new folks on the council who'll be able to understand that at the end of the day, it's about all of us.
Absolutely.
We all have.
We just gotta worry about Josh, you know? That's the only thing.
We're all worried about that.
Everybody is. We're watching, don't worry. Start rosary.
So, does that help?
Thank you. That's good information. Thank you.
I mean, the reason I've been on the board of trustees for 8 years, I'm gonna do another 4 years. Because I told Barbara, I said, shit, this is just,
For all of mine, for all of mine right here.
Spend more money, it's fun.
oh my God.
That's very problem.
Yeah.
Sorry, awesome report, so excited. I was able to carry home, Phil Maroney is coming to the Legion Country Music. And
Phil's big deal, man.
Phil Maroney,
Hometown guy is doing real good right
Carrie home, she's award-winning.
now. He's a drummer, local
country
hometown.
music.
Big deal.
Happening here at the Legion.
That's
I'm
great.
looking for March 26th at 7 or 8 p.m. somewhere around there. I'm still looking for sponsors, 250. We needed to book the band so they can play. It is a sponsorship fundraiser going to the Legion for the seawall. So I'm super excited about that. MP Bulls was phenomenal yesterday. That was the best soup and best food I've ever had. I love that fundraiser. I wish I would have won in 2019. I regret it miserably now. Love that. Got a silent auction. You could die. Great stuff there. Shoot, what else can I promote? All you guys, thank you for volunteering for poker. Commend you. Once again, I already praised you enough. Let's kick ass in December.
Amen.
Motion to call the meeting over at 7:33.
A motion.
Good job.
Second base. Look, all in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm still.